Happiness. In the most technical of terms, it is a mental or emotional state of well-being defined by positive or pleasant emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. When I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. I wrote down, happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life.
Wait, Brian, that wasn't you. That was a story told by John Lennon decades ago.
I was obviously going to cite him in MLA format and everything.
Sure. There are millions of things that come to our minds when we think about happiness. Shall we list a few?
We shall.
Here is one that most of us can relate to. Close your eyes. Think about that wondrous moment after you've been walking 1,000 hours in the blistering cold in Temagami. You put in every ounce of energy you have into chopping firewood in order to make food. You spent long hours constructing a Quincy, and you were finally rewarded with that small, but oh so delicious Mars bar. At that very moment, you are one with this Mars bar. You are one with your inner love for junk food. You snuggle your almost lifeless body into your Quincy to seek warmth as you savor every bite of that half-frozen, half-melting in your gloves Mars bar. That, my friends, is what we think happiness is.
What you might not have thought at first is that the Temagami Mars bar example isn't really a true experience of happiness. Fact of the matter is that the rich chocolate, creamy caramel, and soft nougat are melting in your mouth, triggering all of your taste buds, and giving you pleasure. And pleasure is temporary. So once that Mars bar is gone, you're left there licking your fingers, or shall I say gloves, wanting more, because what do you have now? You have a snowstorm hailing temperatures of minus 30 degrees centigrade, and nothing but a thin layer of snow surrounding you to protect you from it. That's what you have.
But not getting away from the point, it is important to recognize and distinguish between these short and temporary experiences of pleasure and genuine feelings of happiness. Otherwise, you could go about your life making the wrong decisions, regardless of your intentions.
When I started thinking about times in my life where I had an experience of happiness, it really made my short 17 years seem pretty long. I thought of my first goal in Timbitaki. I thought of listening to the radio broadcast of the 2010 Olympic men's ice hockey final on a car ride home and hearing Sidney Crosby score the golden goal. I even thought of going downstairs on Christmas morning to see this pair of socks I wrote Santa so many letters for under the tree. All of those are times where I've been most assuredly happy. But after some more thought, I knew what experience best represented happiness in my life. About halfway through the Peru service trip in March break this past year, our group of 17 students and 3 teachers was scheduled to go on a hike after a long day of service work. Not too long into this hike, Jack McKenna, Adam Mabed, and I pulled ourselves ahead of the group pretty far. We then decided to not keep holding up for them, and so we ran up the rest of the hill. As we got to the top and caught our breath, we started to look around. We saw on one side the depths of the Sacred Valley below, and on the other side the heights of the Andes Mountains above. It was then that I was struck with a powerful feeling of happiness. All the amazing things happening in my life hit at once. Being given the opportunity to travel to Peru, helping improve the lives of underprivileged Peruvians through service work, and being able to take in the beauty of nature. That moment, I was truly happy.
As important as it is to care about your own happiness, caring about the happiness of others is just as important, if not more. The community of people who care about each other in such a way, everyone is going to do things to make each other happy. You obviously can't just tell a person to all of a sudden care about everybody's happiness, but all it takes is for one person to do something for another person to make them happy, and then paying it forward as a community through each and every person.
At a philosophy seminar, Professor Kamen spoke to about 200 students. Partway through, the professor started a group activity. He started giving each student a balloon. He instructed the students to write their name on the balloon with a marker. Then all the balloons were collected by the professor's assistants and put in another room. The students were then led into the other room and were given 5 minutes to find a balloon with their name on it. Everyone was frantically searching for their balloon, bumping into each other, and it was just utter chaos. After the 5 minutes were up, only a few people had found a balloon. The students were then asked to randomly collect a balloon and give it to the person whose name was written on it. Within a couple minutes, everyone had their own balloon. The speaker then began, exactly this is happening in our lives. Everyone is frantically searching for happiness all around, not knowing where it is. Our happiness lies in the happiness of others. Give them their happiness, and you shall receive your own happiness.
A spirit of happiness in our Appleby community can start right here. We want you guys to take a few minutes to talk with those sitting beside you about what makes you happy.
I think you make me happy.
Thinking what makes you happy?
What makes
Me?
Elvira makes you happy?
Don't push it, man. Are you sad now? I know we're thinking the same thing.
What?
I know he's thinking the same thing as
I'll
me.
pause this.
Take what they've just told you and keep it in mind. Then maybe one day, when someone's looking down, you'll know exactly how to bring a little bit of happiness to their day. I know that if I see Chris walking around with a frown on his face, I can cheer him up at Starbucks and a High School Musical marathon.
There are certain people who are afraid of happiness. They fear it. They think if they experience happiness, it will soon be taken away from them. They simply want to avoid that pain that might follow when it goes away. For anybody in this chapel who cannot seek happiness, let me assure you right now that you have countless things to be happy for. I can easily name some things right now that affect almost everybody in this chapel. First off, and just for the sake of it, getting a near perfect score on your AP Physics test. That one's for you, Spencer. In all seriousness though, we can all be happy to know that we have friends or family who are always there for us. Especially here in Appleby community, with teachers, counselors, mentors, and friends who try their best at all times to make our school a joyful community. No matter what anybody tells you, happiness is being who you want to be. As it is said in the Bible from the book of Proverbs in chapter 3, verse 26, "For the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught." This verse teaches us to have faith in all things we do and to always remember that everything happens for a reason. If you remember this, you can open your eyes to all the blessings in your life and live life without the constant fear of losing happiness. Because remember, unlike that delicious Mars bar, happiness is supposed to last a lifetime. We were created to enjoy and appreciate this beautiful earth in constant happiness. Because life is short, and just like Charlie Chaplin said, a day without smiling is a day wasted.
Just like Angelo said in his chapel speech this past Wednesday, the key to achieving happiness is being thankful. It's human nature to take things in our lives for granted. I can list a few things that I'm truly appreciative for. Firstly and importantly, my loving family is always behind me in every step I take. Secondly, my incredible school, which provides me with countless opportunities that will stay with me for a lifetime.
Speaking of opportunities that Appleby provided me, I'd like to share with all of you an experience that happened to me while taking part in a service trip to Panama this past March break. Myself and 10 other Appleby students embarked on a trip to a Nassau village in Panama, where we helped members of a struggling village build a community center. When we arrived at the village after a long day of travel from Canada, we stepped out of the bus exhausted out of our minds, only to see the Nassau children swarming towards us, eyes full of excitement and faces glowing at the sight of our presence. It was at that moment when it hit me. These children, having nearly no material goods or food, are richer than us. Yes, you heard me. They are richer, wealthier, and better off than us. Can you guys guess why? It's because they were happy. When I watched the children play soccer with each other barefoot using bamboo sticks as nets, I stopped and asked myself, when was the last time I was that happy? With our lifestyles here in Canada, especially at Appleby, we have so many things going on in our everyday lives that are constantly blinding us. For some reason, we can't see the things in our lives that are truly valuable. Rather, we focus strictly on who has the nicest phone or who has the nicest watch. But hey, I can tell you right now that those children in Panama didn't have the newest iPhone or a Rolex. But the real question is, at the end of our lives, who would have had a life full of love, happiness, and peace? Think about that. So no matter what anybody tells you, happiness is being who you want to be.
Don't let other people tell you what it means for you to be happy.
Don't let happiness get in the way of the happiness of others.
Take what us chapel wardens have told you today and the rest of this week and live life with happiness.